Hey gamers, I'm back with a little top 5 just about board games. Something I've been wanting to do for a while is talk about Twilight Imperium. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And the 4th edition is getting an expansion this December and I cannot wait for it. It has a lot of the things that the 3rd edition had, and they're bringing that into 4th edition. I'm super happy. But there still are, even though I'm happy, I gotta complain a little bit, right? Because there's like 5 things. There happens to be 5 things now that are in 3rd edition that aren't in the 4th edition that I would still like to see. Yeah, I can never be happy, right? My number 5 is space mines. Space mines were things that cruisers could lay on planets. You could lay as many as you wanted, but anything above 1 really wasn't going to do that much good, because when someone attacks your planet, they have to dodge the space mines. They have to roll for space mines. And if they don't dodge the space mines, their ship will blow up. Now you may think, well, it's just one less ship. What does that matter if they come in with a big invasion? True, but that's one less ship you have to battle. It's like the PDS cannon. Maybe you can get one shot off and destroy one of those big ships. So you never know. So space mines were always nice to have out there. You could put out more than one, but any invading force would only have to dodge once. And I really did like that because it brought a little bit extra something special to the cruisers. If you know, cruisers and defenders, a lot of people pick defenders because they get the first attack in a battle. But cruisers, they can move fast, but that was really, and they could fight maybe a little bit better, but that was it. So I like giving them this extra ability to lay space mines. I just thought it just increased their value a little bit more. And also it's a nice extra little defense to put around a planet. Now, it's the lowest one on my list, which is why it's number 5, but that's why it's on the list. At number 4 is planetary upgrades. In TI4, you could upgrade your planet to have more populations. You could have 1 extra vote at the council, or production. So you could add 1 more production cost value to your planet. You could have either or. You couldn't have both. It had to be one or the other. Now, these are really cool to get, and basically the reason it's number 4 is because I was the only one in the 3rd edition who still get these. I tell them to people, I show them to them, they go, ooh, and then they always forget to get them. And I'm constantly buying them, and no one else is interested in getting them. So that's why it's number 4 here, but it's something that I use quite often. I like giving my planets a little bit extra, like if one planet doesn't have any influence in the galaxy, man, that won't help me much if it's just left over, if it's one I didn't turn over for whatever reason. So maybe give it a little bit of influence so I can use it for both edges. Or maybe I want some more production, so I just give it to this planet. Either way, I thought those are really neat. Now, does the game have to have it? No, because I was really the only player who had it. So just like the space mines, which weren't used that much, it'd just be something nice to have. And I'm trying to do a top 5 here, people. My number 3 is shock troopers. I really like shock troopers. If you rolled a perfect 10, your ground troop would turn into a shock trooper. Shock troopers are heavier fighters. Of course, they are also the first to die. There was a planet who could generate a shock troop every round. I like the idea of shock troops because we need more excitement going on the ground and some more diversity in what we can choose to fight with. That's the one thing that Twilight Imperium doesn't have, good ground battles. Now, I'm glad they're adding mech assaults into the newest expansion, but I really wish they would add shock troops as well. That way we have 3 different dynamics and 3 different choices when invading a planet. We have the regular troopers, shock troopers, and mech assaults now. And I think some more just better ground battles. The ground battles are just it's army versus army right now, which is kind of boring. Bringing the mech assaults are going to be really good, but also I want to add a 3rd thing in there, and shock troops was it. Now, it is true that shock troops were kind of fiddly to deal with. You roll a perfect 10, you go, okay, now they're a shock troop, but then they fired against you and you had to lose someone. It had to be that same shock trooper. And that got annoying, bringing them on and bringing them off the board. But it did add an extra dimension to the ground battles, and I really think Twilight Imperium was better when it had more choices on different aspects in the army on when invading a planet. My number 2, and here's where we're getting really good pain points here. These top 3 are the ones I'd really like to see here, but Mercenaries. I want to see the return of Mercenaries. Mercenaries were people that were on card number 5, and if you got that one, not only could you activate trade, which benefits everyone in the game. I've never understand why people would pick 5. unless they really needed a trade, but you're helping everyone. You're not really helping yourself. Well, one of the expansions came out with a card, and we play with this all the time in the 3rd edition, that allows you optionally to draft a mercenary. And that's really good because mercenaries are really powerful on ground and in the air in space battles too, and they have the ability to dodge a shot during one battle. Instead of attributing a hit, you can attribute it to the mercenary who has the chance to roll and dodge and miss the shot. And depending on their, what their skill was, they could probably dodge that shot. Now, it's really cool. Mercenaries cost you a trade every time, so it kind of forced you to keep getting the number 5 so you could keep up with the trade. However, if you could get a lot of trade, you could have up to 2 mercenaries working with you, maybe even more, even though I've never seen anyone do more than 2. And mercenaries were something that a lot of us use in the game. True, not everyone use it, but if you have a group of 6 there, at least half of them are going to get mercenaries. And it makes the card number 5 more valuable because you need that trade to keep your mercenaries employed. And because they're such great warriors, you do want to keep them around. They don't fight on their own, they have to fight with the group. But either way, they were really good. And I was disappointed they weren't in the newest expansion. I was really hoping they would be. This is something that a few of us in my gaming group really miss that is not in TI4. And finally, number 1 is probably the most important one. I wish they'd bring it back. They probably won't, but it's the preliminary missions. Preliminary missions were these simple, easy missions, sometimes easy, sometimes they're a little bit hard, but it was a quick way to get a quick point before you get your secret objective. Now, the reason I liked it is because it accelerated the game. When we added preliminary missions, we never looked back because the game takes even less. It shaves off a good 30 minutes at least. From when we're talking about 6 hours here, 30 minutes is a lot, but you're getting an extra victory point, which gets you closer to victory. So the preliminary missions, some of them were easy things to get, not as hard, but they only counted for 1 victory point, but it's your 1 victory point you were guaranteed to get, and it would help accelerate the game. I really like this, and I really think they should include actually all of these in their next mini expansion, please. All right, folks, that is my top 5 things that I think TI4 is missing that TI3 had. If you are a Twilight Imperium fan and you'd like to add some in the comments below, please let me know. You can even make up new things that you wish TI4 had. Until next time, see you later.